He's too familiar now, huh?
Mahela, third in the points table. How do you look at teams changing positions? One, it's RCB. Mumbai was 2, then it is now 3. How do you look at those kind of changes? And does it give you some fear that people are also coming up the table? Does it give you any threat sort of thing?
I mean, obviously, the number of games that you're playing and how that composition works, there's always going to be changes, especially with Kings having that odd number because of the rain-off game. So all that things that we as a franchise can't control, or I as a coach can't control. I'll just focus on game tomorrow, and then after that the next game. We have 3 good games against us, which is good for us, who's in that top 5. So we just want to do what we've been doing, playing some good cricket. Boys are focused on that, and the rest I can't control. So my focus would be what MI can control at this point, and just keep focusing on that.
Yeah, Mahela, at the start there was so much uncertainty about Jasprit joining the team. But now, having joined the team, he's brought so much value to the team, the bowling department, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, when we set up the team, retain him, we all knew that how valuable Jesse is going to be, and obviously we knew he won't be available for the first few games, but he made a good recovery. It didn't take long for him to get into the stride as well. That's a good thing about Jasprit, that he's got a lot of control, confidence in how he wants to go about, and he gives us a completely different dimension to this attack. And everyone else also feeds off that, and we've seen that in the last 4 or 5 games.
Yes, he's bowled his quota in almost all the games. How is he feeling actually physically? And
he's fine. There's nothing wrong with him. We've monitored him. His pace is getting better and better, so execution is better. So saw that in the last game as well. He was quite aggressive and how we wanted to go about it. So he looks fine.
Hi, Mahela. A lot of things have fallen in place for MI in the last 5-6 games. How much of a difference do you think the opening pair clicking together has made, especially the stand we saw in the last game? Because I was going through a stat that from 22 to 24, on the table of best opening stands, MI were towards the bottom. And the Rohit we see these days is also very different from the Rohit from a few years ago, who used to take 15-20 balls to start hitting big boundaries.
Yeah, I mean, for any team, if you see in the competition, the openers do play a very valuable part in establishing, and especially with the batting lineup that we have, the way we build, when we get a good start, it always complements to that, and that's what we wanted to do. It's just that even though Rowe, probably the last few years, he hadn't those big scores, but he was trying to give us that impetus as well. Even though I wasn't the head coach, I was watching. He used to get those quick 20s or 15s, 20s, 30s, but couldn't convert. But obviously the way he's converting it right now, it gives us a lot of advantage. And obviously Ryan enjoys batting with him. He's getting valuable experience out there in the middle. So like you said, that, you know, things are falling into place overall, not just the batting, bowling. I think fielding as well. I think our fielding has been really, really good, and we've converted a lot of opportunities, and that's something that we've emphasized a lot with the group that we have. So like I said, you know, as long as we competing at that level and fighting for each and every opportunity, that's all we can control, and we'll have that focus.
Is everyone fit for selection?
Yes, I think Mitch was the one who, with the finger injury, he's made a decent recovery, so we'll assess him today. He practiced yesterday, he'll practice today as well, and then make a call tomorrow.
MJ, you must have seen the pitch. How do you think it will behave? Is it kind of batsman friendly or something.
I
And,
mean,
have you seen Dew last 2 days?
have I seen?
Dew.
Obviously not. I haven't seen yesterday, but I was here till about 9 o'clock. But we'll have to monitor that today and tomorrow. The wicket looks good. It's one of the wickets that we played before. Looks a very good Wankhede wicket. Difficult to say whether it's batting friendly. I think if you have the skill set, the bowlers also have a lot of opportunities to take from that wicket. But it's a good cricketing wicket.
Was it the KKR pitch?
No, it's the RCB one. Yeah, the number 3, 8. Yes, correct. There you go. I'm not very familiar with the numbers. I get the report on daily basis, but it is the RCB wicket. RCB, and I think we played CSK on that. Yeah.
Coach, how much of a comfort factor is it to know that you're going to play 2 of the remaining matches at home, given that you need to win 2 more to get into the playoffs? And does tomorrow's game, by in any sense or in any means, serve as a prelude to what you can possibly face in the knockout stages?
Well, like I said, I haven't thought that far out. I think when I saw the schedule, I knew that having to play your last 2 games out of the 3 at home obviously was a good thing. We were starting away from home, so we knew that that might come into play, and it has come to play. But I haven't thought about the playoffs. I think there are 5-6 teams with KKR winning yesterday as well. So there's different permutations, and I'm not going to even go through that, how everything's going to unfold. We'll all see maybe in another 5 to 6 days when everyone plays one more round where things are, and then we can probably gauge what we need to do. But GT is a very good team, and it's going to be a good match. And like I said, it's just the focus on what we need to do and just keep in that bubble.
Mahela, how much of a threat are GT's openers? Firstly, Shubman Gill and Sai Sudarshan. And secondly, with almost every game bowlers going for 200 odd, how tough is it to manage the bowling group now? Last couple of IPLs, we've seen that 200 has been breached so often.
First question, I think those 2 guys have been very, very consistent, and not just the top 3. I think 75% of their runs been scored by them, the ball's been faced by them. So that's a challenge that our bowling unit will have, and we'll have to work towards that. And that's how their team has been built on. And that's something that we will look deeply. At the same time, runs scored, obviously the impact player has made a big difference in the 200s being scored. Batsmen are batting freely because of that extra player, the batter that you have, and then obviously. So that's why we wanted to build a bowling attack that counter that, and I think we've managed to do that in the last 4-5 games where we're bowling teams out, or we're trying to control the run rates to try and keep it to that 170, 180 mark, and that gives you an opportunity. The margins are very small. You see in the games it comes down to 10 or below most of the time, so the teams are set up for that. The difference is always going to be the bowling, how we can control maybe 5-6 overs of the game in a positive way, picking up early wickets, power play, middle overs, and then the depth. So that's a challenge that every team has, and whoever executes that better has a better opportunity to do well.
Mahela, was the call taken at the start of the tournament to have Rohit as the impact player as far as possible? Because there might have been a temptation to use his inputs in the field.
No, it wasn't at the start. Obviously, Ro was on the field when some of the games. But if you look at the composition of the team, most of the guys are doing dual roles. Most of them are bowling. At the same time, some of the venues, you need boundary runners, you need guys with speed and all that, so that also comes into play. And Ro was also nursing a niggle from the Champions Trophy. So we wanted to make sure that, we don't push him too hard, manage that while batting is the most important thing. But he's contributed tremendously, whether he's on the field or not. I think if you've seen, he's always around in the dugout, or he goes in during timeouts, and there's a lot of communications been happening, so actively involved. But it's just a overall planning for us to make sure that we have all the bowling options that we need on the field. And we have a lot of senior heads as well, most likely to be taken out would be either a Surya or a Tilak or someone like that, a domestic batter. So it's a hard choice for me, but it's a good headache to have.
Last game against RR, would you say that was the near perfect game that MI had? Or can any team have a perfect game with everything going, the batting, bowling, fielding, catching, whatnot?
Yeah, I think as a coach, I'm still told the boys there are areas to improve. That's how I see it. But I think execution-wise, we were very, very good. Batting, we controlled the situations. It wasn't the easiest wicket to start on, and I thought Rowe and Ryan assessed the conditions pretty well and gave us a great start, and then we managed to really consolidate on that. The bowling, we had some plans, obviously, because they had a very strong top order, so we've executed those plans pretty perfectly. Catching was good, like you said. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy going from the Hyderabad game to the CSK and obviously that RR game. All that for us, we're improving as a unit. And every game's a new challenge, and I'll get them to make sure they start from ball one tomorrow.
Yeah, you talked about Mitch not being 100% there. But even then, would you say with the leggy, Karan Sharma and Corbin Bosch coming to the mix, it's more or less a set 11 now for the last 3 matches?
No, I think for me, I look at what would be the best combination on the bowling side of things against matchups against certain opposition. That's how I see things. Kern was injured as well. He had the webbing, so good to have him back. Unfortunately, Mitch, had the finger injury, so Boshi came in and obviously gave us a different impetus, but we played on conditions that probably suited that, and the matchups were pretty good. So I'll keep that flexibility. I know Mitch, everyone brings us that little bit of difference and the experience into the group. So as long as we're putting out the right combination, who we feel that is the best and who's in form, who we need out there, we'll make those choices. Thanks.